Hello, welcome to another Gundam Operation 2 video. That is the GP01, and I got another buffed or scuffed for you. If you guys aren't familiar with the buffed or scuffed series, is basically at the end of every month, the devs do a unit adjustment, right? And typically I'll pick 1, 2, maybe 3 depending on what's there. Suits that either interest me in terms of what got buffed, or you know, some suits that everybody really wanted to get buffed. And the GP01 is one of those suits. Now before we get into this, I do have 2 matches here for you. This first one is going to be at 650. I'm using the level 3 GP01 on Impact site. And the next match is going to be me using it at 600 on Simple Battle City Ruins, and we'll see how we do here. And it's funny because the first half of both of these matches just they kind of go poorly for me, and then towards the end I start getting a lot better with the suit, which is funny enough, you know, or funnily enough. But yeah, the GP01. Now this suit, whenever I was first playing the game all the way back in late September 2019, I hardly saw this suit. The GP unit I would commonly see would either be the Stamen or the GP02. And if you're in space, I would see the GP04 a lot because that was a pretty good support in space, right? They didn't put it on the ground yet. Now, the GP01 isn't lacking in terms of like some skills it has. It does have a double dodge roll, which is nice. And I believe the downswing for its melee, you know, it is a pretty good downswing. It's really fast to come out. It does a lot of damage. If you build for melee, you can definitely do a lot of melee damage with it. For me, these 2 matches actually did a defense build. Yeah, I believe I have 40 beam and 40 something melee resistance, and then I had a little bit of melee strength and range strength. And of course, also you do have a beam rifle that does instant stun as well. So obviously with the GP01, you can just stun somebody and then do the downswing, right? It also had vulcans, but the vulcans they're just kind of there. They're vulcans, right? They weren't as good as the GP02's vulcans. Those are the ones that were fast and easy to stun with. It actually helps set up for a lot of stuff the GP02 can do. So, and then of course you add in other generals coming in, and the GP01 just got obsoleted pretty much, power crept. Even though it still had stuff that even other suits, like when the Mark II came out, the Gundam Mark II, that was a very common suit to see. Even at 550, it was just much more common than the GP01. Even though the GP01 had stuff over it. But the Mark II had 2 different stuns going on with it. One of those stuns can slow people down. It had an insane downswing, where with the GP01, it had to hit both swings of its downswing to get like great damage, right? The Mark II could just do that in one melee swing with a Federation style downswing, which it could hit pretty far, right? It was very infuriating for a lot of people to fight was the Mark II. So yeah, they definitely had to buff this suit, but they never did. They never buffed the GP01. Actually, no, they buffed it once. I believe they buffed like something having to do with its melee. But they never buffed anything else, to the point where even the Japanese players were asking, hey, why wasn't this thing buffed? Well, the devs finally answered, and I think they had a pretty shitty excuse where they said something along the lines of maybe they said this. I'm basing this off of what the Japanese players say, right? Basically, they said that they don't really buff suits that are doing good at their native cost, right? So let's look at the win rate for this suit. If you guys don't know, you guys can go to the GP02 website right now and go to the information tab, and then find the unit adjustments for January 2023, and you'll take a look at what its win rate was. So at 550, its win rate was 47.3%. Now, for any of you guys that have paid attention to unit adjustments, you know that they actually buff suits that have a higher percent win rate at 28%. So why didn't they buff this suit at all? Mystery, right? So now we look at the other stuff here. It actually did better at 600, only marginally though. It has a 47.4% win rate, and then at 650 and 700, it dropped significantly. At 650, it has a 44.9% win rate, and then at 700, it has a 41% win rate. It's a flat 41. So yeah, it was not doing good. So why wasn't it buffed? Well, you know, the world will never know. So yeah, this could be attributed to, like I said, you know, just power creep or just being obsoleted. You have suits that just had more stuns and more melee damage to go with, especially at 650 700. This suit also had no force injectors, so it couldn't, like, if it charged towards somebody to do a downswing, if that person dodge rolled or sidestepped, you know, they used their force injectors to avoid it, well, it couldn't really, the GP01 couldn't really do anything about it. It's like kind of like fighting the Gian, where the Gian just can't turn to fight you anymore. It just kind of has to commit to trying to do a melee or not do a melee to try and trip you up. You know, it had to try to make you read, right, or try to do a read on you. So yeah, it was definitely suffering. So what did they buff about this suit? So let's look. They actually buffed quite a few things on the base unit itself. They even gave it new skills. So starting off, I had to go off they go off the native cost stuff first. So, you know, when it says unit HP is enhanced from 16,000 to 17,000, that is obviously just from the 550 suit, and they do mention in parentheses that the unit levels are also enhanced. So you can see right now, well, not right now, I have 14,000 health, but later on in the match, I think I have 20,000 health. So at 650, I have 20,000 health. I think I might actually have some health parts. I don't think I have health parts. But yeah, so there you go. You have more health, and more health is pretty nice. You can survive a couple more shots. You know, it's 1,000 more health. Yeah, that's fine. The melee boost, the melee strength was actually enhanced from 28 to 30. So now you have more more melee to deal with, or more melee to work with, more melee damage, right? And of course, since we mentioned this thing has a really good downswing, yeah, you can just walk up and do more damage now with your downswing. Or maybe you can do other stuff like neutral or side swing, right? I believe it does have melee combo control at level 2, or level 1, my bad, so you get 2 melee swings. Pretty easy to combo with. Now the next thing here, they actually changed the counter on this suit. I believe it now has the same counter as, I believe, the Stamens, where it does like the side slashes. And if that's not exactly what they changed, then it might be just how the after effect of the counter works, where the person, I believe after you do a counter with this unit now, they'll now fall back slowly. And if you guys don't know, that is a really good counter effect to have. That basically, counters do have a tier list in this game, surprisingly enough. I believe counters where the opponent gets slammed to the ground is one of the worst counters to have because they can get up pretty fast. This counter is actually really good where they fall back slowly. Because, well, they're open to damage from your teammates or from yourself, and then they sit on the ground for a little bit, and then they, well, yeah, and then they can get back up. So, yeah, nice change for the counter there. I definitely noticed it, getting that one counter this match. That's probably the only one I got. Actually, no, next match I have it. Next buff here is the level 1 unit. The 550 unit now has 65 thruster gauge instead of 60. And this actually goes up at level 3 and level 4, where now it has 70 thruster gauge. So it actually goes up even more at those costs. So now you have more thruster gauge to work with. And of course, this can work really well because now this suit has force injectors. Finally! This suit now has force injectors. Like we said, that problem with having to kind of read your opponent, you don't really have to do that now. If they sidestep, now you can sidestep, and then you can do your downswing. The downswing does really good damage. You can start off from there. It's fantastic to have, right? It's what everybody asked for. Literally everybody asked for this. But hey, mission completed. How we do this first match? We got shot at the most. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. We got shot at the most. But we didn't beat a rival, but I believe that doesn't matter because we got 3rd place anyway. So, yeah, decent damage and individual score. I'm fine with that, 4 and 3. Now we're on to the simple battle match, and I believe one of our friends that we play with, Wayland, is on the enemy team. He is G Savior of the film. He'll be playing the A1, so we'll see how we can do against him. I believe this is my first time playing the GP01 as well in this match, so we'll see how we do. Well, I say first time, I mean first time in a while playing this suit, so... Which is kind of funny to think about, because I think, actually, in terms of the most GP units, the most times I played a GP unit, I think I've played the raid the most, the GP02, which is funny, because I don't really play raids that much. But I play the GP02 the most. But, yeah. Let's see what else they buffed about this suit. So, not only do you have force injectors, actually, I think you might have, oh yeah, level 3 and level 4, your force injector goes to level 2, so it takes even less thruster gauge off of your, well, less consumption off of your thruster gauge. There we go. So that's even better at high cost. Very much appreciated. They also give you, at level 3, they give you thruster output increase level 1, and they also give you a reaction booster program level 1. I can't remember exactly what thruster output does. I think that might have to do with, oh no, I think that one gives you 10 more boost speed. So I believe you have 220, and I believe you might have 230, or maybe it might be less thruster consumption off of jumping and boosting. It's one of those two things. I'll probably correct myself in the description for this video. But the reaction booster program, that gives you more turn speed. I believe it's 3 for the level 1. And for the level 4, you actually get reaction booster program level 2, so you get even more turn speed out of this suit. And of course, turn speed can be really well for just, being faster to react to things, reacting to enemies coming towards you, or just, try and get a better melee off by doing your turn speed, right? Or using your turn speed. So yeah, very, very good there. Also, as I mentioned earlier, the level 2's thrusters went from 60 to 65. Well, at level 3 and level 4, you get 70 thruster gauge. So you get even more thruster gauge. So yeah, very good for this suit to have. New skills and to have, and more better skills for at higher cost. So very much appreciated on this suit. Now we're on to the weapons, and yeah, there's some stuff here. They even deleted a weapon and replaced it with another weapon. The beam rifle for the GP01. It actually has more damage now. It went from 1,900 to 2,100, so just a little bit more damage, but it is, it's there, more damage. And then, of course, that goes up depending on the level of the rifle you have. The cooldown time between each shot, because, typically instant stun shots will have a cooldown time, kind of like bazookas, right? So, you will have, it went from 6 seconds to 5 seconds. That's a 1 second difference, so that, hey, that's 1 second shorter between shots, which is fine by me. The stagger accumulation value is also enhanced, and that's actually a pretty good against suits that have maneuver armor or have flight skills or shock dampeners, right? So typically, if you shoot somebody that has a maneuver armor, well, yeah, you don't get a stun, right? But if you increase the stun accumulation on your stunning weapon, if you have another weapon on hand that has a good stun accumulation, you can combine those two and stop suits with maneuver armor or flight. And yeah, this thing does have one. We'll get into it here in a second. They also changed the weapon change time on the GP01. So now it's shorter. It has a shorter amount of time to ready up the weapon when you switch to it, which is really nice for comboing. So now we get into the Vulcans. They actually removed the head-mounted Vulcan late model type that this thing had, and they actually replaced it with something called the GP01 head-mounted Vulcan. This thing, not only does it have increased firing speed and bullet speed, so now it's just faster to shoot in general, it now has 40 ammo instead of 30 ammo, but it does more damage. Instead of 67 damage, it now does 100 damage. And not only that, the stun accumulation is also increased. And I believe one of my friends told me it's around the same as the GP02s. And yeah, that is significantly good. Better than the old Vulcans. Of course, actually not significantly, just straight up better than the other Vulcans. But it also just really, really helps out this suit in terms of trying to engage enemies and get stuns and all that good stuff. As we mentioned, if you're fighting a suit with maneuver armor, you're kind of boned. You just had Vulcans, typical Vulcans, and you had a stun beam rifle, right? Well, now if you're fighting a raid, you can just straight up just use your Vulcans. And if not, you can use your beam rifle into the Vulcans. Or if you get a stun with your Vulcans, you can combo right into your beam rifle because it has a shorter ready up time. And then you can go straight into your melee with your downswing that we said now you can do more damage with it. So yeah, this is a significant change in what the GP01 can do. This allows it to disrupt not only just regular units, right, but units with maneuver armor, typically raids. It can now kind of sort of be an anti-raid or an anti-flight suit, where if a flying suit comes by, if you just shoot enough Vulcans at him with a beam rifle shot, well, yeah, he gets knocked out of the sky pretty easily. You saw me use it against the Delta Chi with other teammates shoot. I think one of the teammates shot him, or against not the Agdoga, the Chars de Jay. You can stun them that way now too. This is a pretty damn good change for this suit. It's really damn good. So now it's very, very easy to disrupt those kind of suits. And it'll be even easier against suits, like with, if you're at 700, God forbid, You know, you can stun a unicorn that has offense system, or a banshee, because of the your vulcans now having more stun accumulation. So yeah, this is a significant change for this suit. And to answer the question, buffed or scuffed, you'll have to wait until after I review what happened here. Gonna blue ball you for a second. So we almost won this match. I believe we're 1 kill off. It happens, you know. I actually had really fun playing this match. My first time playing the GP01 in a while. And hey, top individual, top damage, and I got shot at the most again. And I believe we didn't beat our rival, but that's because our rival was first place and we got second, so can't debate that. But hey, you know, we did really well. I liked it. But yeah, yeah, to answer the question, buffed or scuffed, this suit is most definitely buffed. Now, do I still recommend playing at 650 and 700? I think at 650, you can kind of get away with it, depending on what the rest of your team is. But at 700, I still think it's kind of an iffy suit to use, compared to, you know, the absolute devastation of unicorn units. Now, it does have stuff that can kind of help against them, you know, but the increased stun accumulation, it can kind of help against the unicorn units. But yeah, I still would be like, maybe for fun and quick match, you know. But definitely at 550, it might be a pretty scary suit. It's funnily enough, I've only played this suit not in native, and I've gotten mostly wins with it. So, and it's kind of funny because I think one of the matches I did lose, somebody messaged me, fucking idiot. It's like, thanks for the free wins. Like, yeah, it's cool. I got free wins the past 3 matches before this. Oh, but fucking yeah. Although that first match I posted wasn't really a free win, we kind of had to work for that one. But yeah, the GP01 definitely feels a lot nicer to play now. The force injectors really help out. The stun accumulation really helps out in this suit. The more skills at higher cost, I'm assuming would probably help out 700. I still, again, for me, I still probably wouldn't pick it. So if I'm playing like quick match and 650, I'm like, yeah, you know what, I might try out the GP01 just to kind of play it, right? So yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good for this unit, right? So yeah, to answer the question, buffed or scuffed, this suit is buffed. And yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe if you want, I'd really appreciate it. And, you know, type up in the comment section how you feel about the GP01. Do you like it? Do you hate it? And, of course, I gave you guys my backstory on how I encountered the GP01 throughout the years. And, you know, maybe you guys can tell me about how you felt about it just playing against it or whatnot. And maybe how you feel about playing it now. And, of course, if you are a newer player or maybe you don't have the GP01 yet, it is in the DP store, I believe. I don't remember exactly how much it is, but it is there available for you to pick up now, and it seems like these changes do help it out a lot, significantly. What should have been buffed for a while now, right? Again, I don't know why they never buffed this when at native cost it was still losing a lot, right? So yeah, I'm really glad they did this, even though I don't care in the slightest about the GPO units for the most part, except the GPO2. GPO2 is pretty fun. And of course, I think we're going to be looking at the Mark V next, and maybe one of the Zephyranthes units. Unit 1 wasn't buffed, but the Unit 2 and the Unit 3 were. So, yeah, that'll be it, and I will see you guys later. Bye.